Right now, nobody wants to do the hard work. And if you're just willing to work hard, to be an absolute savage and a beast at all times, you don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. As long as you outwork them every single step of the way, you will be the next generation of success. If you're trying to do something that nobody has done before, do you really think doing what everybody else is going to do is going to get you there? Not at all. Welcome back to Inspire Change with Jordan Mulligan. And today I'm talking about a quote or a piece of advice that has been going around for the last few years that will absolutely lead you to never becoming successful if you follow it. But it is a message that has been perpetuated on social media by entrepreneurs, businessmen, and social media influencers that people seem to be soaking up and absolutely loving it. And I know exactly why. So today we're going to talk about that and how you can run in the opposite direction and have one of the biggest advantages in any endeavor, whether it's becoming successful, an entrepreneur, a businessman, an athlete, a spiritual leader, whatever it is. This could be the biggest edge you could have against everyone. It's my biggest edge I've always had against everybody else. Today's video is sponsored by Huel, and they've just sent me the new Black Edition personalized box, which I'm super excited about. And it says to Jordan, ready for the ultimate meal in a bottle. Get excited to try our most anticipated product yet, introducing the new Huel Black Edition ready to drink. I'm going to dive into this later on in the video, but thank you so much to Huel for sending this through. I think this is going to be an absolute game changer. So what is the piece of advice? And I'm going to give you that, but what I want to do is dive into why it is so detrimental. On the surface, it seems kind of harmless, but it is super detrimental. And the idea is that hustle culture and working hard and work smarter, not harder, is the right way to go. And working until you're tired and fatigued is a bad way to go. This could be one of the most detrimental pieces of advice I've ever heard in entrepreneurship and business. Now, some people might disagree, but what I'm saying right now is they do not know the circumstance that you are in. That advice that they're giving you might not apply to you. And I want to dive into why it might not apply to specifically you and what you should be doing instead of that. So the advice is coming from successful people or perceived to be successful people, social media influencers around entrepreneurship and business, somebody in a position of power telling you the hustle culture is dead, you need to work smarter than harder. And what they use as evidence to perpetuate that message is taking case studies like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or Mark Cuban, whoever it is. They take these extremely successful people and they show you what they do on a day-to-day basis to run Facebook, to run all these businesses. And here's the massive flaw in that, and it kind of encapsulates the massive flaw in the whole argument, is they are arguing from a point of success. They are arguing from the results of what Mark Zuckerberg has, not the journey that led him there. If Mark woke up with the same mentality that he has today, he would never ever become successful. Founder mentality is completely different from CEO mentality. Once you're at the top and your company is thriving, then it's completely different. There's different stages in business. But founder mentality, the beginning of any endeavor, whether it is business or becoming an athlete, is a different thing. And the other factor to consider here is social economic situation. Are you working class? Are you from the projects or public housing? Or are you from middle class, upper class? Do you have fallback? Do you have a situation where I can think about this smartly? I can think about this in a different way because I have the financial backing of my parents, or I have the fallback of if this fails, then I have the options from my parents or whatever it is. When you are from a different situation where to become successful is survival, for your business to work is survival. Otherwise, you have to go back to a life that you don't want to be doing. You're in a completely different position. What's great about all of this is it's very easy to shift your perspective on it.
When we are talking about extremely successful people, do not think about the results. Think about the journey that they had to take to get to that place. So when this advice is coming through from these extremely successful people, if you are not in a position where that advice is beneficial to you, you need to move it aside. So working smarter over working harder is not actually always beneficial. So when is working harder the most important thing? When you are at the beginning of a journey, and especially when you're in a situation where you don't really have many resources, but you have a plan, you have a vision, and you have determination, working hard is everything. And the reason for that is at this current time, this message that we're talking about right now is perpetuated so much that everybody is on cruise control. Everybody right now is sleeping at the wheel and they're chilling out. They're relaxing. They're thinking that it's okay to have a easy life and that working hard isn't the only thing you have to do, and you shouldn't have to work crazy hours, and you should work a nice 9 to 5 hours and clock out at the end of the day. If you are a business owner, if you're trying to do something that nobody has done before, do you really think doing what everybody else is going to do is going to get you there? Not at all. So the most important thing is to work hard. This is how we can have a competitive advantage against everybody else. It's not the only thing, but it is the minimum. When we get going, working hard and outworking all your competition is so important. So this is the edge. This is the thing that I'm talking about that is absolute magic. For me, this is something that I will continue until I'm dead and buried. I will always be outworking absolutely everybody. Now, there is a point in time in my career where working smarter over working harder is extremely beneficial. To me, I feel you can do both. Maybe that's a choice you could make when you get there. But my point is, right now, if you want to become successful and you're from a situation where that doesn't happen very often, the most important thing, the thing that makes up most of the pie right now, is hard work, grit, and determination. When I started out in business, I was working a minimum wage job, 9 to 5. I had an eBay business on the side that I was selling kids' school shoes and clothes and stuff from the garage sales and car boot and all that kind of stuff. And then I also was running and developing the business plan for my business at the exact same time. All of these things had to happen. I barely slept. I had constant fatigue, headaches, stress-induced illnesses, whatever it was. Those things happened. But that was the cost of success. That's what it cost for me to open my first business. For some people, that isn't the case, but they have a better platform to launch from. If you're in a situation where you don't have that, and all you have are the resources around you, which is pretty much nothing, you better be willing to grind, and you better be willing to grind for a long, long time. And to do that all without any promise of success is one of the most difficult things to do. But this is where I want to come in and assure people, hard work is never wasted, ever. It all comes with a caveat, which I'll reveal at the end of the video, but it all benefits you no matter what. It will pay off. So having that edge at the start of my business allowed me to launch my very first business. Once that had been launched and my gym was working and the staff made the business turn over the right amount of money and we could just run without my input, all that grind that I had pent up for 3 or 4 years paid off. And I got to a new safe point. And then we launched this business.
As always, today's video is sponsored by Huel. And today, they've sent me their brand new Black Edition ready to drinks. Black Edition Huel is a higher protein content version of their drinks. And they're absolutely amazing. I drink the powdered Black Edition all the time, and I also drink their ready to drinks. So the fact they've combined these two into one is absolutely unbelievable. It has 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals. And if I know Huel, it's going to taste great. That's delicious. I'm going to do 2. Screw it. Neve's jealous right now behind the camera. Whoa. Tastes like a chocolate brownie. That's incredible. 35 grams of protein, all 26 essential vitamins and minerals, 7 grams of dietary fiber, slow release carbs, omega-3 and 6. Honestly, this stuff is incredible, but the reason that Huel Black Edition Ready to Drink is so good, if you're training, if you're busy, if you're on the go, this has everything that the standard Huel has, but more protein. It has a higher protein content. And for me, when I'm trying to build muscle out here, especially as a plant-based athlete, this stuff is my go-to. And I want to say, this is by far the best tasting Huel. I'm not kidding. This is the best one. Thank you to Huel. If you want to find out more, go to the link in the description. Make these a part of your life. Honestly, they're incredible.
So from that point on, the grind began again, because the next target was so far in advance that it required the same kind of effort again to get to this point. And that's exactly how it is. Once you set a goal that is so beyond where you're at right now, it requires a ton of hard work unless you have an abundant amount of resources. When these people talk about, working smarter over working harder, this is the difference between them and you, is they have a ton of resources. They can get investment from friends and family. They can get investments from other people. They do not understand the situation that you're in. They'll say, go to the bank and get a bank loan. When we opened this business right here, the building that I'm sat in right now, I could not get a bank loan from anywhere. I had no credit history because I had no money to be able to buy a car on credit or to get a mortgage or to get loans. I had no guarantors in my family who were able to financially back me up to be able to open this business. And I had no history in business. And there's so many people of you who, weren't born into a family that had businesses or had money or had that kind of good credit history that will be in the same situation. So I couldn't go to a bank. I couldn't borrow money from friends. I couldn't do anything. So we had to absolutely grind just to be able to get the money to be able to afford this building. That's the way that we did it. And now we're in a different position. So this is the bit I'm talking about. That advice that they're giving you to work smarter is relevant, but only at the right time. And there will come a time in your journey to success where the grind is important to check upon, to make sure that you're not just a firefighter in your business and trying to do absolutely everything. There is a point in time when you realize that it's more intelligent to delegate and work harder in other aspects of the business. But in the beginning stage, it is not it. In the beginning stage, you better be willing to mop the floors, clean the toilets, scrub the toilets, work in on a project with a staff member that is, maybe something that you feel is completely beneath you, but you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to train your staff. You need to be able to go do all the meetings. You need to be able to do all the social media posts. You need to do all the business deals, all the meetings, absolutely everything. You have to be willing to do it. You cannot go into business or any endeavor with the mindset of, I'm just going to be here and everyone else around me is going to do all this work and it's all going to happen and become successful. That's a shot in the dark. It's a once in a blue moon thing that happens, and a good idea will never ever replace great execution. And great execution in founder stage of business, and for anybody who's starting any goal, comes with a ton of hard work and willingness to just get your hands dirty at all times. If you don't want to do that, you're in the wrong place. And if this is a great point. If you are not in a position where you can lean on all the people around you, you can't do that. You never will be able to do that. So if you have this dream of coming up with a great idea and then one day somebody's going to come along and save me and help me launch this idea and I'm going to become successful, you're living in la la land. Unless you're already born into a family with loads of money. It's never going to happen. What you need to be willing to do, and so you should do this, is pay the price of success. And the price of success is paid in hours and hours of working till your eyes can no longer stay open and you're falling asleep constantly at the computer whilst you're working. It should be such a grind, because that is what it is worth. And when you have such a monumental leap to make, from maybe you're the first in your family to do this, to break that generational pathway, to break out of that is very difficult, and it requires hard work. So to round this all up, guys, the whole point of my conversation today is I'm constantly seeing this message on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube of work smarter, not harder. It's not all about hustling. It's not all about grind culture. That's the opposite way of thinking. It's disgusting to do that. We don't live in that generation anymore. They're all wrong. I'm telling you, they're all wrong. I have experienced it firsthand. If you're not in that position to lean on other people, you've got to grind, and it's not going to be pretty, and you got to work hard, and you should love that. You should enjoy that. You should learn to love the suck. Honestly, that hard part of it all is the best part. That the most difficult time is the best time. And my point is, Dana White said this. I wish I could play the clip, but I'm paraphrasing here. But he said, in today's generation where everybody is soft and everybody is looking for an easy life, if you are just a savage, you can take over. And the next generation of extremely successful people will be the people who were savages. And I couldn't say it better myself. It's exactly that. Right now, nobody wants to do the hard work. And if you're just willing to work hard, to be an absolute savage and a beast at all times, you don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. As long as you outwork them every single step of the way, you will be the next generation of success. You will be the next entrepreneur. You'll be the next generation of the billionaire companies, the most successful people in social media, whatever it is that you're aiming towards, you will be that. And right now is the biggest opportunity to take advantage of that. Nobody is freaking looking. Everybody wants a smooth sailing life, and they think that they can sip mojitos on the beach and do no work and launch a successful business. They're all living in cloud cuckoo land, and time is of the essence to take advantage of this situation. Mulligan brothers are coming in like an absolute wrecking ball to do this, and so should you guys. It's across every single industry. Even including sports right now, athletes are seeming to think that you can get away with just cruise control. Be a beast and take over the industry, take over everything if you're willing to do that. It's absolutely the best opportunity to do this. So yeah, I hope that helps. And if you wanted to get some advice on who you should be following right now, if you're in my situation, you're in a situation where you want to be the best and you want to be successful, of course, work on being smart in your field. So follow people who work in your field, who are extremely talented and impressive. You know, follow those people for that knowledge, that wisdom. But if you're following people for motivation, inspiration, and guidance in a more mental way, you need to find the right people. And for me, in my position, that's somebody like Gary Vee. Gary Vee has always maintained that hustle culture is super important, and it might not be popular right now. And when Gary Vee talks about these kind of things, it might not hit for him, but he still sticks to that message because he knows how important it is to hustle. He knows how important that culture is. And yeah, surround yourself with those people. And again, guys, it's with a caveat. If you're in a position to sit back and chill and sip mojitos on the beach and launch a business in that way, go for it. But if you are not, reality check. You need to grind. You need to hustle. I hope this helps somebody. It's grind season, guys. Let's get it done. Love you all. Let's get this. Let's take this opportunity. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed and productive day. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.